This Chinese New Year, as my family and I wandered through Chinatown, I found myself reflecting on this idea of readiness in a different way. Traditions, businesses, communities, none of them started with certainty. Everything just simply began. My husband volunteered to bring my kids over to the car wash. So I've got 20 minutes to do this voiceover. Heading over up to my studio. Gonna set up my laptop, put my camera down so you guys can see where I'm going to be at. And I'm going to be doing my voiceovers. And I'll be right back. I love painting peonies, but one of the things that I feel really intimidated by is the number of petals that you can see on peonies. So today I'm going to be going through with you exactly how I break down some of these peony shapes. Now we're going to start with painting with some watercolor ink, and I love the Sminker Aqua Drops range because the colors are so vibrant, so buttery, so easy to use. I'm using a filbert brush and moving around and just starting to capture the center of these florals. Every time I begin a painting, I hesitate. I hold my brush over my paper, questioning whether I'm ready. What if the colors don't go the way I want? Or what if I make a mistake with my brush? It's easy to stay in the familiar, to repeat the same strokes that we know, to paint within the comfort of what we have already mastered, because it feels safe. But staying here, staying safe, also means we never discover what's beyond it. If I can be honest, painting a peony is not within my comfort zone. In fact, this is really a flower that has so many complex shapes, and while it's beautiful to admire, I always have some hesitation as to how am I going to portray its beauty in my own way. Now here is where, when I had first started my watercolor journey, I had relied so much on tutorials and formulas of how people would paint the peony. The peony was really one of those watercolor florals that you would typically see on wedding invitations, and I had such great admiration for the looseness of these florals. Now, despite trying to replicate all of those beautiful strokes that I see on a tutorial, I could never find my way past it being a cabbage. It was always so frustrating that my florals did not look like how I wanted it to, and that's where it led me to my own exploration. Now, whether or not I was ready to explore this new method of painting, it also meant that I had to get out of my comfort zone, get out of my own head, and really start to see what I was capable of depending on what I already knew of watercolor. And sometimes that feels hard because it means that we have to trust what we already know while we are diving into a new subject and space. This peony painting is one that I created for my Brush Movement Collective members. Now here is the thing, when I create classes, one of the things that I want to ensure my members be able to learn is the ability to also fall back on learning through small increments of success. I don't want them to be learning things that are beyond them, and that is where this particular class is actually pegged at a stage 4 and 5 class, so that members also know how they can scaffold their learning and move through the different stages before they actually reach this class. I'm here at Chinatown right now together with my kids,
really bustling because today is actually Chinese New Year Eve. We're here on a tour, getting to know the different parts of Chinatown. It's pretty interesting because the kids actually get to know a little bit about heritage, how all the different stories have come about, and yeah, I mean, look at this mural here. So beautiful. I can't wait for you to come along with me on this little tour that I am going together with my kids. Yeah.
This Chinese New Year, as I walked through Chinatown with my family, I saw the same tension between holding on to tradition and stepping into the unknown. Tradition is beautiful because it connects us to where we came from. It offers us a structure and a sense of belonging. But what happens when we hold on to it so tightly that we stop evolving? We have to ask, are we honoring tradition or are we using it as a shield? This is the same with creativity. We stay beginners longer than we need to. We keep searching for the right way to do things, the perfect tutorial, the perfect brush, and we tell ourselves that we are not ready to experiment, not ready to explore, and not ready to trust and go beyond our own instincts. But readiness is an illusion. No artist ever feels truly ready before they create something new. And no tradition ever evolved without someone daring to break the pattern. This is how we grow, by respecting the past but not fearing the future.
Okay, smile, girls. Hug each other and smile. Okay? Yeah, hug each other and smile. Yes! Hey, lift up the head, Sophie. Lala, look at Mama and give me a big smile. Dimple.
Coming back to my painting, I realized that I was holding back, staying in the safe strokes, afraid to let go. But watercolor doesn't work that way because it thrives in movement, in fluidity, and in trust. So as I push forward and let the paint flow, I also allow mistakes to happen. I let myself move beyond what I know. Instead of staying safe and only painting peonies the way I know from tutorials that I've learned before, learning to see things in a new light and trusting my own perspectives and trying to translate what I see in my mind on paper is so much more empowering because it also means that I am no longer stuck in my own beginner mode, and instead I am no longer waiting to feel ready. I am simply putting pen to paper and creating.
It's the snake. But the head is the orange.
Chinese New Year reminds us of renewal, of stepping forward even when the path isn't clear. It's about honoring the past but also making space for what's next. As I watch my kids be holding on to the oranges, creating new traditions with them where they have come to an age and they start to understand what exactly the traditions are, how they unfold, I am also trying to allow myself the flexibility to see how we can include new ways of making things meaningful and fulfilling for our family instead of just following traditions for the sake of it. While traditions provide a sense of structure, I find that in order for us to find meaning and connect to what we believe in, we also need to start thinking about the way in which we pour specific routines and rituals in our lives, whether it is from past experiences or embracing new ones for our own family. We don't need to feel ready to begin. Whether it is stepping into a new tradition, a new creative style, or a new stage of life, growth happens when we let go. I've had so much fun sharing with you my reflection between the old and the new, and I hope that today's episode has given you the opportunity to also reflect on the things that you are still holding on. Don't forget to put down in the comments what your thoughts are and share with us things that you want to let go and stretch beyond your comfort zone before you are ready.